Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we're going to finish up Battle Angel Alita, created, written, and drawn by Yukito Kishiro with Volume 9. I know it says Volume 5 right here because this is the deluxe edition hardcover, so it's all the 2-in-1s. But this has Volume 9 Conquest in it, the final volume in the original series, and it also has a side story featuring the Motorball spin-off Ashen Victor, which we'll get into in another video in the future. But in the last volume, you had Kaos show up at the Granite Inn going after his father, Desty Nova. Alita was battling all the replicas that Eisenberg was sending after her. And then you had Koyomi and Den laying siege to the Scrapyard with all sorts of chaos going on. They had their giant cannon pointed at Zalem, ready to take it out, but to no avail. They sent the replicas after them as well to destroy the cannon and really destroy all of the Barjack aside from Den and Koyomi. So it ended with Alita being trapped in this thing called the Arboros, which sort of put her in a dreamlike sequence in which she was battling Jasugun again with the Motorball. So you see here, this is the final volume right here, all these things. And then you have this another fight, which is a sort of alternative ending. Because what happened was Kishiro here at a time was not well, and he was very sick, and this is like the canon ending. And then he wrote this to wrap it up really fast, because after this, it goes right into Last Order. But this is so, the fact that he thought he was not going to be able to finish the story he had in mind, that he just put that together. So it starts off right where Alita has regained her consciousness from the Arboros, and from her fight against the replicas, she lost an arm, a leg, and an eyeball. And Desty Nova, just the look on everyone's face there, he's like shocked, all sweaty. Kaos is all shocked, and even Eisenberg is shocked. And, Nova sends his associate here, what was his name? Bizarre, I think his name was. And he's there, he gets his head blown off. And Nova's just laughing, and Eisenberg's like, stop it! You can't do this anymore. Because what happened, it was a sort of a coup almost, false flag, where Eisenberg, they had said originally to Alita that they're hunting after Nova for deserting Zalem. But he's back now, and he says that Ladder has asked for Nova to go back to Zalem. So it's just crazy. Everyone's just beside themselves because they've never thought that Alita would be able to break free from the Arboros. And she just is beating the crap out of Nova here. Look at the blood coming out of his mouth. He's missing teeth. I mean, look at that. Bring it on. I'll destroy every last one of those fake replicas. Just the shock in everyone's face. So, artwork is terrific here. Nova's just laughing like a madman. And Alita's looking for answers here, because what happened is you saw, was it the last volume? I think it was the last volume. She had found Dr. Ida, who had his memory wiped, lost all his memories of Alita because he found out the Zalemite secret, and it broke him. It turned him into a madman. And Nova knows the secret. And he's going to tell him what happened. So he pulls out this knife. Check out this scene. This is where it gets really crazy. He pulls out this knife. The secret of Zalem that turned Ido into an invalid. And he cuts his head off. Look at this crazy shit right here. He cuts his head off, removes his scalp pretty much. And underneath his head there is the true form of the Zalemite mind. And his brain is gone, and there's an MIB chip in his head. And it's it's not his real brain, and it's all this lore dump about their eugenics program in which they turn a certain age and they forego their mind, and they just have the same brain chip in their heads. And look at Eisenberg; he's shocked there because he doesn't even know this secret. Only Nova knows the secret, and Dr. Ido found out when he was working with Nova when Nova brought him back to life. And look at this blood everywhere. Just getting totally crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So Eisenberg's losing his goddamn mind here. He's sweating. My mind is run by a machine. No. And he's running to the bathroom. Look at him. He's got a table saw there. And he cuts his own head off too. Look at his face. No, my brain. I've got no brain. And, you can imagine why Dr. Ido had to wipe his memory. I guess knowing that is just absolutely crazy. It drives you insane. So, Alita's taking care of this guy. his associate there, Bizarre. And she's able to free Kaos, who is strapped to the table there, and making their escape here. And so now that Kaos is free, Nova, after he did his little, evil villain speech, is on the run. So they're have the master computer here. They're trying to stop him. They start opening all these, waterways and stuff. That's the sort of drawing of the Granite Inn. And now I gotta be a little careful this next page here. But you see, there's a, some sort of being Dr. Desty Nova is putting back together. And let's just be careful here because there's a little bit of nudity, and I don't know what YouTube's gonna do about that. But that's Eli, his other associate from before. And she makes her appearance now, brought back to life. And you see, this is kind of like the movie from Alien Resurrection, when Ridley finds all the experiments. Remember, they brought her back to life in that movie, the fourth alien, all the terrible experiments, and they're like, kill me. Crazy. So Alita puts them out of their misery there, just crying because, these people didn't ask for this. And then Eli shows up with her new suit here, looking, pretty good right there, the femme fatale. And they have a battle here where she's got, what does she even have there? She's got like robotic legs and stuff. And Alita's got her Damascus blade, and they have an all-out duel here. And basically, she has this she's able to use this pressurized shield that she has to block her attacks there. And Kaos is looking like, oh no, the Damascus blade is going to get shattered. But Alita is so strong, she's able to break it. And says, my rage is ultrasonic. And she destroys Eli there. So they're able to get onto the next room where Desty Nova is, and Alita's just chasing after him. But once again, he's got all these computers, and he puts her back in the Arboros. And it's a dreamlike sequence you saw the last time, in the last volume, where she was battling Jasugun back at the Motorball. So this sends him back to the Scrapyard, and she's thinking, oh, who am I going to face? Am I going to face Makaka? Am I going to face Zapan? Which one of my old opponents am I going to face? And lo and behold, it's Dr. Ido. And this is the Dr. Ido that knows, or, the Hunter Warrior. Sorry about the wait. Let's go home. And she knows that it's just an illusion. So she kills Dr. Ido right there in the dreamlike sequence. And Desty Nova's watching like, oh, I'm just getting started. That's just the first. And then she wakes up again and is having coffee here with Dr. Ido. This is when she was just created from the very beginning of the book, of the series. When Dr. Ido created her, he found her head in the scrapyard and put her on the robot body. So once again, she has to kill her father figure there, and it's just brought to tears, and it's very sad, really is. And once again, Desty Nova's watching. And this is the beginning, once again, where Alita was found in the scrapyard, being put together, and in this alternate reality, Dr. Ido is working with Desty Nova there, puts Alita together, and, it's good stuff. So then Kaos is able to, he's sort of gaining back his powers, and he puts himself into the Arboros. Don't ask me how, but basically he takes a hold of the wires from the, the real world, and it's like an astral projection almost, where he becomes part of the computer of Zalem. And all these great images here, really great artist, man. This guy's good. But, this is the different Alita from when she was born, being brought up by Desty Nova instead of Dr. Ido. She's just blowing bubbles and stuff. And in this instance, they call her a galley. And you may have saw there was a black cat there. Where is it? Right there. The black cat, they called that Alita. And I believe in the original Japanese translation, her name is Galley. So then it cuts to Den, who, because Kaos is connected to the Arboros now, Den is also in this world, and he's here just destroying everything with his giant sword, and he's going against this robot, the Mars King, which Desty Nova's controlled, and this is where it gets a little confusing to me, but it looks cool, and it's sort of like these alternate timelines and dreamlike sequences, and I feel like alternate timelines never really work, but Alita's able to regain consciousness, and she's back in the real world now. Just look at how battered and bruised she is, missing her eye, missing her arm. You see she's got the peg leg, missing her foot. But she's still ready to fight and has a devastating slash where she cuts off Nova's head. So you think that's it. So fight 50, the last blade. So this cuts back to the Barjack and Den. And he's just he's just pissed, man, because they destroyed all of his forces in the last volume. They destroyed his giant gun that he had pointed at Zalem. They destroyed his whole crew. It's really just him and Koyomi, the little girl who was Shumira's daughter, and, Alita saved her in the beginning. And what did I say? We advanced like 10 years since the first volume. So then Kaos manifests himself as the, sort of astral projection that he is. And you got the plot dump through the past few issues that Kaos and Den are one and the same. And Kaos, is the son of Desty Nova. And you see they're highlighting this part of his heart here, because that part of his heart is a machine, which is in turn created Den. And really, Den is the false person. Kaos is the real human and that whole thing. And this is the whole thing where, Kaos is a weak boy, and this was Nova's creation, Den, that he created. And you see that's the machine part and his heart and all that. And basically, it's the yin and the yang. It's sort of in that symbol, too. See how they can kind of fit together, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad? It's very interesting. So, this is when Den began. He swore vengeance on Zalem for creating him, essentially. And now this man here, I forget his name, but he was from, the first volume, owned the Kansas bar, and he's really the father of Koyomi. And Koyomi was essentially adopted by Shumira, and, he's coming right at him, and he stops. He says, "I want my daughter back. I want Koyomi back." And, Koyomi's sort of feeling remorse for the poor man. She doesn't want Den to kill him. And Den's like, "I thought you don't fear death," and he's about to drop her and kill her. Right? And she falls, and her father's there to catch her. And really, he dies, but saves his daughter. Very sad. So, finally, the Zalemite forces come to face off against Den. And they have this Latin verse here from O Fortuna by Carmina Burano. "Fate is against me in health and virtue, driven on and weighed down, always enslaved. So at this hour, without delay, pluck the riveting strings, since fate strikes down the strong man, everyone weep with me." And Den goes to his death, essentially, while Koyomi's grieving for her father. And you saw, he had the centaur look. He looked like a centaur almost, and he's been so battered in battle that he's kind of climbing on to get to Zalem, like Yugo was in the beginning. And they shoot down, break his katana there. And with that, Den has met his match, and he's defeated. The evil part of Kaos is defeated. So, Kaos is back here doing all that astral projecting, and he's really beat up as well. So, him and Alita have to do one last thing here and defeat Desty Nova. So they clean up nice, and they get back out there, and, they're sort of talking how Lou is sort of crushing on Kaos now, and he's like, we gotta finish this once and for all, so let's gather everybody. And he gets his forces here, because remember, he had Radio Kaos, and he has a large group of followers, and he has these inspirational radio broadcasts to rally the troops. And essentially, he's going his way, and Alita's going her way, and talking about how she's going to see Figure 4 when she sees this figure on the road there. It's a little boy, and she runs him over. And then, going to look after the boy, and it's got that laugh. Who has that laugh? And you see a timer, and it explodes. And you see this beast right here with Nova's head in the stomach. And come now, it's elementary. Who doesn't create backups of their most vital systems? Oh, found a scrap of a brain. Yay! And that ends. So like I said, in the beginning here, I had said, you got, it ends right here, and then you have another fight. So what happened is, this is the canon ending that goes into Last Order. However, there's a few other stories, because like I said, Yukito Kishiro, when he was writing this, was not well, and he didn't think he could continue writing. So he had to come up with an ending to end it in its own right, and then, he got the help he needed. See, it says right here, currently the previous chapter is canonical. End of Battle Angel Alita. The story of Alita eventually continues in Battle Angel Alita Last Order. The following pages are another vision of Battle Angel Alita, published after this ending before. So yeah, so they're just including this in the deluxe edition just to give you, if you're just going to read this series by yourself and not read Last Order, you get a nice ending. So, it cuts over here to Alita in space, and you know, she's had these flashbacks where they've called her Yoko. So this is her as Yoko, you know, in the past. And this is sort of the Alita in the Arboros, you know, like the system that Nova had her trapped in. And she's watching a different vision from her past of all these, you know, cyborgs battling in war on Mars. And this Yoko here isn't very forgiving. All her men here are really decimated. And they're saying, you know, we need to go back home. We can't continue this fight. And Alita slowly but surely kills them all. Or, excuse me, Yoko here. And she makes her escape from the pod as all our other men are dead. And you see she's, you know, just the head that Dr. Ido found. And that's how she came to be. So, you know, this is sort of taking place how it ended. Like you saw Dr. Ido had his other backup, he said. And you see her on Zalem with Alita after he blew her up, what we saw with Dr. Russell. And he's putting her back together here on Zalem. And basically, he's going to have her in the new Berserker body to sort of rule over the Zalemites as he continues to, you know, do his experiments and saw all the alien-like experiments he had going on. And Alita's like, enough of this crap. We need to liberate everybody and expose the truth. And basically, Alita wants to expose the truth that all the Zalemites, you know, don't have brains. They have the MIB chips in their head that are, you know, the eugenicists. So Alita finds Lou, who became a nice ally of hers, a good friend of hers. So she's there to show everyone the MIB. Well, actually, no, sorry, Nova's showing it, and Dr. Russell's losing his damn mind. You see, he commits suicide. He jumps off the freaking Zalem up top there, and he's like, I can't take it. Like you saw with Eisenberg, he sawed his head off, and I think he killed himself too. I guess, I mean, yeah, if you were to find out you didn't have a brain and you were just being controlled by this Zalem government, you'd probably go insane too. So once again, she's getting these flashbacks when she was Yoko, and basically telling her all these things. So then what Nova does is he's firing all these bullets at Lou because he doesn't want Lou's threatening to tell all the other Zalemites when they reach the age of 18 or 19, that's when they get that brain installed. And Alita's there using her supersonic speed to stop the bullets. And these are the Zalemites getting ready for their initiation to get their, you know, because when it happens, you get that thing on your head too, the dot or whatever. So they make their way here and to the mother, the Melchizedek. And this is basically, it gives you all this lore here. It gets kind of biblical because, there you go, about Hebrews, the righteous king. You know, there was all these things. I got a comment in like one of my first reviews, the fact that Zalem is, you know, a religious thing. And it starts saying it right here. So they have Jacob's ladder here. The ladder, referring to Jacob's ladder, connects into space to Jeru by the ladder. And when you put the two words together, it's Jerusalem, you know? And it's just interesting that they, you know, they say it right there. Combined, they form the name Jerusalem. The reference not to the city of Israel, but in the holy city that descends from the heaven in chapter 21 of Revelation. So it's just interesting how they get everything. And it's the center of the world here, the center of the earth. The Scrapyard's doing all the work for the Holy Land. And it's for the chosen people that live on top. Very interesting how they brought that all together. And, you know, it's interesting to me because I didn't really think that the Japanese were religious in that way, that they're like, you know, Christian, Jewish, whatever. But I guess they are. So this is the God woman here who's, you know, basically in control of everyone. It's their messianic figure on Zalem, and she's had it that everyone knows the secret. So she's collapsing the elevator, and she sends it down, and it's going to crash into the scrapyard, essentially killing everyone on the scrapyard, while also pulling Jeru onto Zalem, destroying everything. So Alita, you saw, was able to dodge all those bullets with her ultrasonic speed and all that. And the citizens are like, no, we were just destroyed by Den. Now we're going to get destroyed by Zalem. It's the curse. So Nova gives Alita like this secret weapon here and says, you know, you're the only one that can stop this, Alita. You got to go and save the day. So she goes out there and saying her goodbyes to Lo. And then it comes over here to Figure 4, who we haven't seen in a while. And figure 4 was, you know, the love interest of Alita, 2 of them. So now Nova's like, I hope you fail, just screaming like a lunatic. And, you know, she makes her way and is able to connect herself to Jiru and Zalem and keep it all together to essentially form the tree of life. And and that's what's left there. So very interesting. And then you got this 5 years later, after all these events, the Tower of Zalem now, and Koyomi, who has sort of become a reporter, photographer, whatever. And all these people here, you have her father was brought back to life, and it has this 4th iteration of the Kansas bar between Lou, Kaos, and Vector. Remember Vector? They've had peace at the Scrapyard now. All those heroes. I'm surprised about Vector, but hey, good for him. And Koyomi is basically looking for Desty Nova. She's been on the hunt for Desty Nova ever since because, you know, if they find Nova, they believe that they can get Alita back. And then, so she sees figure 4 here, fighting all these guys at once. Just, you know, he's a human. Like I said, he's an organic, fighting all these cyborgs, able to defeat 4 at once. And he's still convinced Alita's not dead because she promised that he'd return. And then they find the Desty Nova figure, and they follow him. And he leads them to where this flower is, the message. And, you know, they find Alita. Figure 4 finds Alita back to normal. I gotta kind of censor that page. And that's it. And this is the alternative ending that, you know, Yukito Kishiro did. Because like I said, there's stuff in the back here where he gives like an interview how he was ill and he didn't know if he was going to be able to go on, but he did. And he did. There's like over 20 volumes of Last Order now. So I'm going to have to check that out eventually. But yeah, this is absolutely terrific. This is quite a long video, I know, but very good. Highly recommend it. Battle Angel Alita Volume 9 Conquest. So this will be it for my Battle Angel Alita review respective series. What I'm going to do, I'm going to probably do another video of Ashen Victor, which is essentially a side story about Motorball. It really doesn't pertain much to the Battle Angel Alita series. I've already read it. It's pretty good. We'll get into that in another video. And I also have this other thing. It's called Battle Angel Alita Holy Night and Other Stories. And basically it's 4 stories never before published in English. And it's a bunch of side stories about Koyomi and other battles and the timeline and stuff. So I haven't read this yet, but picked it up. And I might take a break before jumping into Last Order because there's, like I said, it's like 25 volumes in Last Order. So I might take a little break before that. But such a great series. I'm going to sit down and do a video just talking about the whole series overall. It's very good. Absolutely terrific. You saw the artwork in it. Incredible. Great battles. Great story. If you're into like the religious references, that's very interesting too. And I thought it was quite good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Stay tuned for more Battle Angel Alita videos and more comic book reviews and all sorts of other cool stuff on the channel coming soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.